How long has that mysterious city been around? Your guess is as good as mine. There's an old Eastern European legend that claims a man once gambled with the devil and won big. But when he returned home, his entire village had been destroyed. Doesn't sound much different than what happens today. As far as I'm concerned, that's proof it's existed since the Middle Ages. But I suppose that's just analogical reasoning. The financial district.
Whatever you say, ma'am. You don't have a deal scheduled today, do you, Misato?
Nope, I'm just going to watch one.
Smart lady like you shouldn't waste her time gambling. Nothing good will ever come of it.
What did I tell you? Today, I'm just a spectator.
Good, because I can't tell you how many people I've seen get burned gambling. You'd think it'd be the deals that would take them out.
This is my 51st trip to the financial district. Out of all those visits, only 11 were actually for a deal. I spend a lot of time here, but I'm still what you call a novice entree. Every country in the world has its own financial district. They vary in size depending on their corresponding country's economic situation. Needless to say, the districts of the Far East are the largest and most magnificent. You there, Georgie? Well, today's the day. I've got a deal to watch. This place is overflowing with all kinds of interesting characters. There's the enigmatic young businessman who's virtually got the city under his thumb. And then there's the new kid he's trying to win over. Guess I got here a little early. There's something different about that kid. Call it a hunch, but I think the outcome of his second deal could affect the future of this city.
Gonna settle for normal? You must be trying to run away from your parents as well. You've got to quit running. Either way, I'll be waiting on the other side.
So I don't want to be like my old man. Is that such a crime?
The organization I work for is absolutely obsessed with figuring out the truth behind the world's financial districts. Why do they exist? What's their purpose? Does Midas money have a negative effect on our world's economy? When I started my investigation, there was only one way I could get information on the financial district. I had to search for people who had been to the place and then conduct secret interviews with them. After school, huh? But I was never satisfied. I knew I was barely scratching the surface. That was a big one. Huh. Oh, come on. What happened to my donuts? It doesn't matter if a country's economic value is high or low. If it has a financial center, then it's sure to have a financial district. The organization has dispatched an investigator to each of those places. And that's how I ended up here in Tokyo, Japan. As soon as I arrived, I kept an eye out for anyone who might have access to the financial district. But the higher-ups had their targets locked on Soichiro Mikuni. I couldn't find any records listing his principal occupation, but he did have a long list of bizarre managerial positions which definitely raised a red flag. Out of the entire list, only one position seemed suitable for him. His post as advisor to the Finance Ministry's investment department. The guy's a snake, and I don't trust him. The scary thing is, he has serious clout with this country's cabinet, ministries, financial institutions, and corporations. It's quite a feat for a man who prefers to live in the district and barely spends any time in this world. His name is taboo. Nobody dares to speak it. Even the media rarely makes any mention of him. But that's nothing compared to the power he holds in the financial district. I want to break through the facade and find the real man. The founder of a guild in the district offering its members mutual support. The investor who's pumping Midas money into this nation's economy.
I see you've been parked here for a while now. Is everything okay?
You're new. Never seen you around before. So where the hell is Azuma today?
Who? This has been my beat for a few years now, and I've never met anyone named Azuma in my division.
I remember the day I was invited to the financial district like it was yesterday. Hello, this is Sato. What? A deposit? Where'd that come from? I didn't make that deposit, and I'm not the type to accept bribes. Huh?
Good evening.
I didn't know it then, but I would soon become the first investigator with the organization to ever set foot in the district.
Goodness, I haven't seen you since graduation. How are you, dear? Are you making ends meet?
I seem to be getting by all right.
That's good to hear. You had me worried showing up out of the blue like this.
Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't mean to make you worry about me. I just wanted to see my Aunt Kyoko. And maybe ask you some things.
Let me guess. You have questions about your mother and father, don't you?
I never really asked you much about them growing up.
Your parents were wonderful people, and they both loved you dearly, Kamimuro.
I know you're only saying that to try to make me feel better.
I'm just telling you the truth. Your parents adored you, so I don't want you thinking badly of them. I do remember that right before he left, your father seemed to be doing well for himself. He traded stocks or something.
He was bringing in good money?
It seemed that way, but for some reason, there were no records of his earnings. I'm sorry. I know it's not much, but that's all your father left behind.
It's cool, thanks.
Just put that stuff back in the shed when you're done.
No problem. It shouldn't take me long. What's with these numbers? Midas, no way! What the hell were you up to, Dad?
What are you asking me for?
How should I know where Misaki is? I don't keep tabs on it.
I need to get him to come to this world and talk to
If
me.
I knew where he was, I'd tell you. What's your problem? I don't like your attitude. You're acting like a big jerk.
Sorry, I'm just frustrated. You're the only one I can ask.
Why don't you come here and look for him?
Do what?
You're allowed to come to the district whenever you want. You don't have to have a deal scheduled.
I didn't know that. I'm on my way right now.
Okay, what crawled up your butt?
Ah, shut up.
See.
Deals are scheduled once a week. I usually get called in on Wednesdays. Each week we have the option of choosing our opponent.
Woman entree. Well, that's a new one.
I'm not interested in small talk, pal. But I never have. They're all the same to me. An asset relies on its instincts to defend its entree.
Open D. Missile freeze out.
But it's not able to attack unless its entree gives the order. Asset attacks are called flation, and they fall into one of three categories: micro, mezzo, and macro. Basically, small, medium, and large.
There she goes again. Hey, what's going on here?
A micro will run you about 100,000, mezzos are 1 million, and macros will cost you a whopping 10 million. I haven't had to cough up the cash for a macroflation yet.
There you are!
If an entree goes bankrupt during a deal, they're banished from the financial district.
Payback's a bitch, ain't it?
I try to play it safe by keeping my wins and losses minimal, but I know it could all come crashing down at any moment. I've never chosen my opponents because I've done fine with the entrees Midas sets me up with.
I can't get a good pic of her in action.
I'm just like the new kid. I wouldn't be able to clinch a deal if it weren't for the strength of my asset.
Beats me. I don't know why you would assume we'd have that information.
Why won't you just admit my dad's been here? I know that much from his journal. Was he the reason I was invited to this place?
Of course not. It's purely coincidence.
Coincidence my ass!
You've got some guts there, kid. You're brand new to the district, and you're already giving Masakaki a hard time.
What have we here? Mr. Mikuni, to what do I owe the pleasure of this surprise visit, good sir?
I hate to break it to you, Masaki. I'm not here to see you. I need to have a word with Kimimaro.
Where are we going?
Don't worry, just follow me.
Mr. Yoga. Yeah, I remember that guy.
Seriously? Can you tell me everything you know about him? Please, I'm begging you.
And how, may I ask, do you know Mr. Yoga?
I'm his son.
Get out of here. You're his boy? Well, I'll be damned.
Do you know what happened to my dad? Tell me.
Maybe. Why should I tell you?
Well, because I want to know.
Your dad was a powerful entree, and he was crazy about deals. He made some major money off of them back in the day. That is, until he lost big and went bankrupt.
He lost it all?
The bank took possession of all his collateral, and suddenly there was no record of Mr. Yoga's existence. He knew he wouldn't be able to find a job. He couldn't face his family, so he decided to hang himself on the horizontal bars at the park. Since authorities couldn't identify the body, the corpse was disposed of by the government. I wish I could tell you there was a happy ending, but your dad's been dead a long time now. Sorry, kid, that's all the information I got on him.
Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
What kind of person was he?
I never spoke to the man, so I couldn't tell you the intricacies of his personality or anything. But I know this. The guy was completely obsessed with money. Judging by the way he played his deals, the only thing he cared about was getting his hands on more of it. I'm telling you, your old man was a real miser. But he was a hell of an entree. It kind of makes you wonder if his son inherited his talent. I guess we'll just have to wait and see, eh, little Yoga? Just remember, you gotta be careful. You don't want to end up like your father did. You gotta make your life in this city your top priority. You can't let what happens in the real world affect you. That's the trick to surviving in the financial district.
This is my favorite place to escape. Isn't it beautiful? You can see the whole city from up here. So what now? You gonna keep dealing?
I just don't want to end up like my dad.
Aren't you glad to finally know the truth? It may be hard to swallow, but at least you know he didn't abandon you.
If he hadn't gotten mixed up in this mess, he'd still be alive today. We could have had a normal life together. He might not have abandoned me, but it sure feels like it.
I wonder why your father was so desperate to earn money.
Huh?
He had to have some reason, some sort of motivation. My father, for example, was driven by greed. He made money simply because he wanted more of it.
I'm sure it was the same with my dad.
When I was about your age, my father's business almost went under. My little sister had a life-threatening illness. The only thing that could save her was an expensive treatment. Instead of forking over the cash to save her life, he threw his money into the company. and as a result, it flourished. Do you know what my first big purchase was after I made a ton of money here? I bought the company out from under him, and I took it over. I basically stole everything from him.
If my dad were still alive, I'd want to do the exact same thing to him.
Like it or not, our parents influence who we become as adults. I bitch about my dad, but deep down I know I'm just like him. You're nothing like the man Takadizaki described back there.
Maybe it's because he was never around growing up. Honestly, I don't really have any memory of him.
Maybe that's it.
This is his journal. There's nothing but numbers in it. He never even mentioned me or Mom, so that proves it once and for all. He didn't care about us. He really was a miser, and...
What if he was dealing to support his family? Maybe you and your mom are the reason he needed money. You always talk about how you want to live a normal life with a guaranteed salary. That would only be enough money to take care of yourself, not a family. I hate to say it, but there isn't much difference between you and your father. It turns out that you're even lower than the man you hold in contempt, Kimimaro. I happen to think money's worthless unless it's used for something other than your own gain. Can you think of anything you'd want to spend it on other than yourself? If not, then start searching for your cause. And you'd better start saving now, because you're gonna need a good amount of money saved up for whenever you do find it. You've gotta keep dealing. Make all the money you can, and then put it towards your cause. When you spend your money, someone always profits. If you save it up, you're the only one who benefits. That may make you happy temporarily, but you'll never know the joy of making those around you feel happiness as well. I'm not really the man my father was. I take the money I earn in deals and invest it in this country's future. What will you do? You've got time to kill before your next deal. Think about it. Q.
Hey, are you alright, Kimimaro?
Leave me alone.
Excuse me?
Go away.
What's with you? You're acting like a jerk again!
The two of you talked for such a long time, I'm surprised you didn't invite him to join the guild.
I make note of every little thing that happens in the city, and I share that information with the organization. They never briefed me on exactly what I was supposed to report, so I tell them everything I know. The last time I went to headquarters to report, I just had to ask. You're not going to do anything? But Midas money is flowing into this nation's economy as we speak. We have to stop it, sir!
Believe me, I'm aware. And I know the consequences we could face. Midas money has been seeping through for some time now. The higher-ups are in the process of calculating the risk of stopping the flow. There's a distinct possibility that stopping it could cause even bigger problems for the nation. You do understand that, don't you? You don't have to worry about anything except reporting to me, okay, Sato?
I can feel our world being warped and twisted, and it seems to be getting worse every day. I'm beginning to wonder if we might have bit off more than we can chew. But I'm not the type to give up. Not when so many questions still need answers. What's the deal with the Black Midas money? Is it serving some kind of purpose? Does it have the power to save our economy? What happens to your future when it's being held as collateral? Does the bank hold on to it forever? Or is there a way to get it back?
He's here. This should be an entertaining deal.
I'll be watching your every move like a hawk, kid. I can either be your friend or your enemy. The decision is yours.
Are you okay, Kimimaro? Don't ignore me!
I never thought I'd have to face off against one of my students. You must be new here, huh, Yoga?